The Los Angeles Rams have won a Super Bowl in the past 2 years, so you don't feel too bad about them, but still, they could be in a better situation. Let's talk about where they're at now and where they should move, where they can go moving forward. First, this chart, this is where they rank in specific positional categories according to Pro Football Focus, as in where they ranked last season, not necessarily a projection as to what they'll do next year. The passing was definitely an issue as, when Stafford got hurt, they really struggled in that department, which again is understandable. You expect Stafford to be there. If he goes down, you're going to be in trouble. One of the ways that the Rams can get better this following season is simply having players, be healthy and get better. I mean, that's a very simple thing because, obviously Cooper Kupp as well and Aaron Donald all had injuries that they were dealing with. So you're, debatably your three best players. Obviously Ramsey is that's kind of the big four of your most valuable players. Three of them getting banged up definitely hurt you this season. Pass blocking and run blocking, though, took a step back. You expected that losing Whitworth, it was going to hurt, and it did. That's just, guys retiring, going to hurt you, especially a very good player like Whitworth was. The receiving game, again, without Cooper Kupp, definitely took a step back. But again, if Cooper Kupp comes back there, maybe you re-sign Odell, you could be easily a top 10 receiving core once again. And even if you don't sign Odell, it should be top 10 with Cooper Kupp being healthy. Passing could be top 10 with Matt Stafford being healthy. Offense looks better in that spot. Still not spectacular. And the running game was not great either. 29th ranked running backs according to PFF. Their defense was also not as good as we have seen it be in previous years. The run defense was still awesome. Best in football according to PFF. But the pass rush and coverage, which is usually bright spots of this team, was not this season. A big part of that was, one of the things I talked about previewing this team was I had some concerns about the Rams. I still thought they'd be good. I didn't expect this to happen. I don't know how many people did, but I had some concerns about their depth, specifically in the coverage unit, and it really showed this year, I thought. There's been some talk about trading Jalen Ramsey. I think the other way is, much more what they should be doing. Trying to, complete that coverage unit would make more sense to me. Their pass rush, again, you just hope with a healthy Aaron Donald, that should get better. They spend a lot of money on pass rushers currently, but, that's something that I think could get better. So that's kind of where they're currently at. As for their free agents, the players that they have to re-sign or replace, there's maybe not some huge names, but some notable players. A'Shaun Robinson, Troy Hill, Matt Gay, and Taylor Rapp. That's supposed to be Taylor, not the E there. That's a typo. Those are four players who are, Greg Gaines has been good. Even Ode Abushi has done some nice things for them. But, these are all players who maybe aren't superstars, but I don't know. I like Taylor Rapp and what he does. I think he's a talented player. Matt Gay was a great kicker for them, especially in the postseason run. Someone who's very good and very reliable, I would think. So you don't want to lose him. Again, A'Shaun Robinson, Greg Gaines, they did some nice things for you. Those are guys you maybe let go and say, we trust that we can get other players who can play next to Aaron Donald effectively. But at the same time, well, now you have to go find other players who can play next to Aaron Donald effectively, which is not so easy. It, of course, can be done. It can be done. Sure, I agree with all of that. But will it be done is another question, and you could argue potentially that it won't at least be so easy. So that's where things get a little bit concerning. But as a whole, they have some role players that they'll have to replace, but they're not losing any of their stars. Part of it is their team is built around a handful of stars and a bunch of role players, though. So, this is the issue with their strategy of trading first-round picks, and then they hope that they can get role players later on in the draft. It worked. They won a Super Bowl, so it worked, but the downside is eventually you're going to have to pay those players, and then you'll have to continuously be finding cheap role players throughout, so we'll see if they can do that this offseason. They've been able to do it in the past. It's not totally fair to bet against them, I think. This is where they are currently at where their cap space, they are 14 million over the cap, so it's not terrible. The cash, though, is very much, they have very little cash. 14 million in cash, one of the lowest in the league currently. And again, that's projected. Maybe they have 15 million more. Maybe they have negative cash and they have to clear some. We don't know at this point. That's just a projection. So the money they would need to re-sign everyone would be 34 million. They can probably get a couple of those players if they want to, and I don't know if I would hate that necessarily. There's not a ton of players they can get rid of, so unless you're going to trade someone like a Jalen Ramsey and then get that team to take on his contract, that's pretty much the way that you would clear up cap space. And obviously into 2023 NFL draft, they have no first, fifth, or sixth rounder. They have a couple other picks though, but don't have a ton of draft capital, of early draft capital, especially. Although I should mention, next year, they do get their first-round pick back. So even if they suck again next year, they have a first-round pick. Again, reportedly, they tried to trade a first and second-round pick for Brian Burns, which that's one of those insane decisions by two parties. I don't know why the Rams tried to do that, and I don't know why the Panthers didn't rush to say yes. I don't get why either team was thinking there. I like Brian Burns as a player, but giving up 2 first-round picks is a ton for someone who's going to have to get paid, and for the Panthers, like, what are you doing saying no to that? I don't know. That was a weird call on both sides, I thought, if that was true, which I still don't know if that's actually true. It's just a report. But at the end of the day, the Rams aren't in a great situation, but I don't know if they're in a terrible situation as maybe some other people do. I think there's a lot of the Rams should just blow it up. The Rams suck. Well, okay, when your team is built around 4 stars, and 3 of those stars get injured, you're going to look terrible. Like, they know that going in. Kind of their whole philosophy is, we're going to have these stars, and if they get hurt, we're screwed. That's pretty much what they do. That's what they did last year, or 2 years ago as well, when they won the Super Bowl. They didn't have a ton of depth then either, but it was okay because their stars played like stars. The question is, can they get back to a Super Bowl winning team? That is a fair question. I think so. Because again, Aaron Donald's not getting any younger. Matthew Stafford is, he's in his mid-30s at this point. Quarterbacks do sometimes lose a step then. Not every quarterback plays till their mid-40s like Brady did. So there's a chance that happens as well. It's hard to say exactly where the Rams can go. But again, there's upside to this team, I guess is what I would say. Yes, there's downside. There for sure is, and we'll have to see what they do this free agency period, in this offseason, I should say. Historically, they don't do very much. Historically, this is a team that does very little in the offseason, and they kind of, they'll make a big trade potentially, but then that's all they'll do. That's typically what they do, and maybe that's what they do here. Again, do you do something where you trade Jalen Ramsey, get draft picks, and then trade for someone else? I don't know. Maybe since you have these draft picks, back, now that you have a first-round pick for this following season, maybe you trade that one and try to get some talent that way. And then maybe you're able to get some role players with some of these mid-round picks that you do have. I don't know. It's interesting. They are in a bit of a tough spot, but if Stafford can return to form, if Kupp can return to form, and if Aaron Donald can return to form, I see no reason why this team couldn't at least be a playoff team again. But Super Bowl window, that's definitely going to be another question. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. If you like movies, check out my movie review channel. Every single movie title you see on the screen, I have a video about coming out within the next 2 weeks. I'm uploading a video every day for 2 weeks, so definitely make sure you're subscribed there. The link is in the description below. I got some other stuff on there too, some like breakdowns of certain scenes I like and things like that, so check it out.